recap only. We have seen in the first unit itself various types of neural networks and simple starting from the simple neural forward network, radial basis network, deep feed forward. This presentation I will forward you. Okay. A recurrent neural network which is useful for the text recognition, text processing and all that. Long or short term memory which is again connected with your CNN only. Gated recurrent unit which we call it as GRU, which is not given in this unit. Let us see in future we may see that. Auto encoder which we will be seeing it in the last unit. Variational AE. This again a part of this unit also. Denoising AE, sparse AE and all are not there for you. This may be of next level. Okay. So these are all the various types of neural networks, and again with respect to the architectures, if you look at the neural networks, you have Markov chain, Hopfield network which we have studied, Boltzmann machine, restricted VM, deep belief network. Wherever you see deep, it is connected with the deep learning. Okay, so we call it as deep neural networks too. Deep convolutional network which we are discussing currently. The convolutional network, that is from the actual neural network you find out or you transform it to convolutional network. When you go in depth into that, it becomes a deconvolutional network. Deep convolutional inverse graphics networks. All are like slight variations only with respect to the requirements. The architectures will be changed. We take a basic architecture of CNN. From then, depending upon the requirement, we go on extend the CNN. Again, some more for you. Generic neural architectures, deep residual network, differentiable neural computer, neural Turing machine, which is connected with your Turing machine, which you studied in your finite theory of computation. Okay, so hope you can understand now what is the reason we study about the theory of computation. Okay, even for the networking or to train neural network also we will be using Turing machine. Not only Turing machine, even the automaton will be used. Capsule network, this I think it is there in your fourth unit. Coherent network which we have already studied. Attention network. These are given here just to give you more idea about whatever the different types of neural networks available. Yeah. So data sets, when we consider, just give some attention for this because these are all related to your subject only, but exact content after that only will come. Training the data, testing the data are the two major things which we do it for any neural networks model. Always, like we have seen so many neural networks model already. So you train the model first with a number of examples, later you test with a few examples. Okay, so you train the system first, you take n number of examples. Like the example, the training is more means obviously the test result may be accurate. Okay, so we train more and then we perform. So any model will be comprised of two different things: training a model, testing a model. Okay, so data set also is divided into two data types: training data and testing data. So we say usually it is disjoint when it is not a joint set. Training data can be divided into actual training and validation data. So actual training is just blindly you just train your model with any number of data, and some data will be used to validate the data, that is whether it is correct or not. Okay, so to check that again we will be feeding some more data. So always training is comprised of two things: just plain training and then validation of the data, whereas testing data is used after training. I hope you understand that after completion of the training only you start testing it. Like you feed 1,000 lakhs of images into your system and into the network. Then to identify a particular image, you just show or scan that image and check with the trained data. Then it will be able to compare this is available or not, or to recognize a particular image, whether the image belongs to living being or it belongs to kind of flower family or vegetable testing. You are not able to get the accurate. Initially when we are testing, we don't do a correct testing. It will be all about pilot testing only. You will be knowing what will be the result. Okay, whether your system is giving the result or not. Even when you are generating a Fibonacci series using a very simple C programming also, you will be knowing the Fibonacci series up to 10 or 20 or 50. With that limit, it is able to give the answer or not. And then you may give a limit between 1000 and 2000. 1000 and 2000 you may not be very sure about it. But between 0 and 100, if it is able to give a proper result, you will come to a conclusion that yes, my program is working well. That is how we do perform test also. Initially you do a test with the known input and output, like when I show some flower, it should tell that it is rose or it is jasmine, something like that. Later only I will be testing with the unknown result. Okay, fine. So these are the topics given in your unit, the second half: convolution, operation, motivation, pooling. Convolution and pooling as an infinitely strong prior, variance of the basic convolution function, structured output, data type, efficient convolution. So up to this pooling, we have seen not only up to pooling, after pooling, like the process of convolution network, exactly what it does, it is processing the image. It is used for image processing. For any CNN, we will be giving image as an input. So the second layer of the CNN architecture is convolution layer. What it does, we will be using a kernel or a filter which will be aligned against first frame of your original image. Your original image is represented in the form of some dimensional matrix. It may be a 6 by 6 or 254 by 254, however it may be. The input image is represented in the form of some dimensional matrix, and we do use something called a filter or kernel. The kernel is sliding across the image so that you get an output which we call it as a featured map or convolved features or output matrix. Okay, so that is about convolution layer alone. After the convolution layer, I think you have the architecture with you. That is not the detailed architecture, the overview of the architecture only. The second layer is about pooling. Okay, so we do perform pooling. Pooling is used to reduce the complexity of the computation. I repeatedly give this statement because when the input image is of some 25 by 25 matrix, whenever we perform some computation, it will not be of that easy. Now, after the convolution only, we are performing pooling to reduce the dimension of the matrix. Please remember, pooling is to perform or to achieve down sampling, or in other words, I can say that to reduce the dimension of the matrix. Suppose, for example, your input image is of 200 by 200 matrix. You are performing convolution on it, so that little smaller than that you will be getting. Again, for that also I gave you example, and we have the formula to find out for any input matrix how the output matrix could be. What is the formula for that? Featured map size. How do you find out? N minus f plus 1. N minus f plus 1. So by applying that formula, suppose if you are taking 6 by 6 as a input matrix, by applying 3 by 3 filter over there, the output will be of 4 by 4. 4 by 4. Okay. So this is for only 6 by 6 itself. Suppose you are taking some 200 by 200, little lesser than that only you will be getting it as a output matrix, somewhat around 180 by 180 or 190 by 190, something like that, which is again a very big dimensional matrix only. So computation will be complex. That is the reason we perform pooling. So pooling, normal dimension of the pooling matrix will be 2 by 2. Normal dimension of the filter will be 3 by 3. These things and all somewhere you can note down. Only then when you see this process anywhere you can understand easily. So when you apply pooling on the convolved feature, what happens? Little smaller than the previous level matrix will be getting. Again you apply kernel or convolution over there, it will be reduced. Apply pooling over there, like that it goes on depending upon the original level. So finally when you get a very smaller matrix like 3 by 3 or 4 by 4, it will become easy to flatten the image. So that will be the final stage of this process. So flattening will be giving you the beautified or processed image at the end as an output. Okay, so to perform that, all these things we need to know. Yeah, so convolutional networks, also known as convolutional neural networks or CNN or ConNets, are a specialized kind of neural network. We have seen so many artificial neural networks and associative memory. We have seen ART, we have seen coherent mapping, many things we have seen, and CNN is one of the very important neural networks which is mainly applied on computer vision based applications that you need to remember. So used for processing data that has a known grid like topology. Okay, so image data which are 2D grid of pixels. So normally we use CNN for the images and video processing. This much is enough for that. So I have more content, but whatever is required, that alone we focus on. Each layer produces, well, like we always take a one-dimensional and then we go on extend the image representation as two-dimensional, three-dimensional and so on. Okay, so when it is one-dimensional, how the computation is taken place, as you all know, in any simple neuron, how do we perform the computation to get the output? Input into weight, input into weight, plus second input into weight of the third input into weight of the sum of all that. That is the computation we do follow even in CNN. We map or align filter on the original matrix, original image matrix, and then the corresponding value of the original matrix and kernel will be multiplied plus second cell image, input matrix into filter plus third cell input matrix into filter plus second row, third row. In such a way we do computation. For that only this process is shown over here. Fine. So now matrix multiplication for 2D convolution. So we do start any process with the 2D convolution only. So this is your input image and that is the kernel. Kernel is filter. Kernel is otherwise called as filter. Filter only is used to extract the feature of the image. Okay, when you are having a whole image, we don't give focus on the whole image. As I mentioned, suppose I am like Aadhaar card and all, if you see, they give importance only for eyes on the face, not on any other features. Depending upon the requirement, the features are extracted. So feature extraction only is done using convolution function. So to extract that, we set up a filter and the filter is aligned against the input matrix and then we create a featured map or output matrix. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L are the elements of the input matrix and your filter is constructed by W, X, Y, Z just by name only. Now how do we perform convolution function? Keep the kernel on the first 4 cells of the matrix. Okay, so when you slide that across this, A into W plus B into X plus E into Y plus F into Z. So all those things you add, sum of all that will be the first component of the output matrix. Similarly, you align this on the second window like against B, C, F, G. So you do the same computation, you will be getting some value that will be the second cell of the output matrix. Okay, I have given you one formula to know what will be the size of the output matrix. Okay, using that, first check whether this output size is correct or not. What is the size of the input matrix here? It is yes 3 by 4 or 4 by 3? 3 by 4 or 4 by 3? Okay, you take 3 by 3 as the input matrix and kernel size is 2 by 2. Apply formula on it and then find out what should be the output matrix. And then take 4 by 3 as the input, just 4 as n, f is 2 and find out what should be output and tell me. First you must know what should be the size of the featured matrix or map. So you are getting output here as 2 by 3. Check panunga. Do check it. N minus f plus 1 for slide 1. Slide is nothing but first step of performing all that we call it as stride 1. In other words, I can say when I am overlapping this filter on this, if I am moving only one step ahead, it is called stride 1. When I am skipping 2 steps, like I am not tightly overlapping the thing, I am losing one and then by leaving this I am going to slide with this filter over here now. That is stride 2. When you skip 2 steps, it is called stride 2. When you skip 3 steps, it is called stride 3. It goes on like that. Okay. So now to get this, when you are applying that formula on it, are you getting this? N is equal to 3. F is equal to 2. What is the output you are getting? It is 2. That is for number of rows. Here number of rows and columns are not same. When it is same, you can take only one value and then get what should be the output of the output matrix. But here number of columns are not same as the number of rows. That is the reason both the way I told you. So 2 rows and then when you compute it, you will get 3 columns. When you take n is equal to 3, you get 2. When you take n is equal to 4, you get it as 3. That is the reason you will be getting the output matrix size as 2 by 3. Okay? Hope this computation is clear. Vijay, have you understood this computation? How do you calculate the value of each cell? Is you need to align the kernel against the input matrix and then, like for easy way, I had shown in the class, in the last class, write the value over here, W, X, Y, Z, so that easily you can multiply A into W plus B into X plus E into Y plus F into Z and so on. So, yeah. So here we are taking one input, we are taking those who attended know this concept very clearly, no problem. Others need to give little more attention. See here, this is our image and this is the output, convolved feature. How we are getting this? We are going to compute it. This is our kernel or filter. So first step itself, we must know what should be the size of the output matrix. Here, input, rows and column size is same. N is equal to 5, K is equal to 3. Right? So 5 minus 3 plus 1 is 3. So the output matrix will be 3 by 3. So how do we compute this? This kernel is kept and aligned against the first 3 by 3 cells. You can also do that. You can do this problem too. Mukam, okay, what are you doing? So align this against over here. So 1 into 1. Sorry, this should be aligned 1 into 1 plus 1 into 0 plus 1 into 1 then plus 0 into 0 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 0 plus 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0 plus 1 into 1. What is the value you are getting? If you have done, you can tell me the answer. You must get the value as 4. Do it only then you can understand. So next step what we are supposed to do, the same filter should be aligned over here. That is 110, 111, 0, 1, 1. On that you need to align the filter. So when you perform the computation, you will be getting the convolving feature. That is of this. First step you will be getting like this. Okay. So we will be tightly overlapping because we should not lose any feature from the input image. That is the reason strand 1 will be tightly overlapping the filter with original image. Okay. So this is the overall neural network, CNN architecture. So the one which I had given already is a kind of overview only. This is in depth. Your input image, convolution plus ReLU. We will be using either a linear or non-linear activation function. We can use sigmoid or ReLU, whatever it may be. Again, this will be chosen with respect to the requirement. Okay. So here for a 3D image, we are taking a ReLU. We are convolution plus ReLU. We perform pooling over there. You get little smaller than that. Then again you perform convolution. Then pooling. It goes on. It is not only 2 steps. As I mentioned, till you get a smaller size of matrix, we continuously perform convolution, pooling. Like that we will be doing it. Since we had taken only a smaller size matrix like 6 by 6, within 1 or 2 steps we can complete it. But for the original image, it will not be like that. So after this, we need to, with the final pooling, we need to flatten it. When we are flattening it, it will become a one-dimensional values, vectored values, and that is converted as a fully connected. That is how the input is connected with all the output node, and all these things will be represented as the output node. So that will be the end. And again, as a final step to get the finest image, we will be doing something called a softmax. So this and all practically only we can do. That is not involving any mathematics. Okay. So this architecture is important. Yeah. So here, runtime of traditional versus convolution networks. Santosh. So runtime of a traditional versus convolution network. So when we are considering any traditional neural network, that is when there is no convolution involved over there, what will be the running time of that? It will be considering all the input, which will be producing only one output. But still it has to consider all the inputs. So it takes a time of g of w to the power t into x. Whereas convolution networks involves sparse interactions. So among all the input, which input alone will be able to produce the output, that alone gets connected. That is the speciality of this, and the running time of this will be order of, in case of traditional neural network, when you are having n number of input node, m number of output node, n into m will be the runtime. Whereas in case of convolutional, k, that is a particular input only will be connected with the output node. So the runtime will be reduced as order of k into n. Now this is one of the important thing. I want you to note down this. Santosh, pass this. Pass, not close. Yeah. One day is given for you to give idea about how it is extended for 2D and 3D images. Okay. Whatever we saw earlier was only for 1D. They start the process with only 1D, that is scalar type, and then they extended to 2-dimensional images, 3-dimensional images, and so on. Okay. The same process which I have seen already. So how we are performing the computation is statement wise explained. Yeah. So motivation for using convolution is maintain silence. What networks. As I mentioned, if you are taking a traditional artificial neural networks, all the input node will be considered when we are producing the output node, which will give more complexity in the communication. Not only that, due to that there will be lot of loss and accuracy will be lost. That's why we go for convolution neural network, where the image is directly considered. You extract the features and then perform on it whatever you want. Okay, so that is the advantage of CNN. How did they get this idea of convolution? For that, what is the idea behind it or motivation behind it is sparse interactions, parameter sharing, equivariant representations. All the three are very important when we consider CNN. Okay, so sparse interactions, I have shown it with the diagram. Again, I will show you with some more network connectivities. And then parameter sharing is one of the important properties of CNN. How the parameters are shared? You align the first filter on the first window of your input image. You get some value. Again, you are not skipping the entire 3x3 cells matrix in the input image. When we are aligning the filter against input image, we are only skipping one column alone. The rest of the columns are considered because tightly we are overlapping. Fine. Then you get a convolved features. You perform convolution on the input matrix. You get convolved features. We get it after performing the convolution. We do apply what step? Which step we are applying after the convolution? Bhuneshwaran, what is the next step after the convolution? Get up, I said. What is the next step after the convolution? Pooling. What is the dimension of the matrix we take for pooling? So normally we take 2x2 matrix for performing pooling. So your convolved features are given as an input to pooling. Again, the pooling will be taken as an input for the next convolution. So that will be given as an input for the next pooling. So every time it produces some output which is being taken as an input for the next level. That is how we are sharing the parameters. When we are sharing the parameters, whatever is the original image, whatever the dimensions we are considering, we will be taking everything. Like if you are taking an image of height, width and breadth, everything will be taken. We don't only take the height alone or width alone or something else. We will be taking all the three parameters for the next level. This is what is calling parameter sharing. From the original image, when you are performing filter on it, you are sharing some parameters which will be same as the original image. Okay, so parameter sharing is another important feature or property. Finally, equivariant representations we will see one by one. So here is an example for you. Okay, so here on image is being taken. In that one particular portion only is considered for the feature extraction. Okay, a small portion is considered for the feature extraction. That has been just for our understanding. Zoom. So for that, the corresponding pixel values are represented over here. So for the easy conversion computation, we are taking in this manner. You apply the filter over there, so you generate some value. You go on do the computations. You keep sliding across the input image and then do it. Okay. So what you need to understand here is, though we are taking a very small portion of the image, we are giving more focus on it because we should not lose anything. Even there is a small dot over there also, because feature extraction is what? I have already given an example that you want to beautify your face. Some dark points are there or some pimples are, whatever it may be, you give your original image. When you apply filter over there, it will look so beautiful. So wherever the points which needs to be removed, that is identified, extract that particular portion and then change it, edit it. Okay, so that is what is called applying filter on it. So here also, when we see this image as it is, we will not be able to understand. Suppose there is a dark over there or there is a different color over there, so that will be clearly extracted and that will be identified. Okay. Yeah, this is detailed computation only. Okay, so these are all your inputs. Each input will be having a weight. You can internally, when you look into that, you can see a simple neuron everywhere. Everywhere simple neuron. So x1, x0, x1 each will be having a weight of w0, w1, so on. So activation function finally produces y0. That is the, whatever it may be the neural network, internally this is the process taken place. Okay. Fine, so that has been represented in the form of a matrix as well as equation. So sparse connectivity viewed from lossy, this is what the sparse interaction. As I mentioned, this is the motivation behind convolution. Motivation behind the convolution operation. Like you take slightly of input, in that you extract and get a single point. Extract and get a single point. So you take 3 input which produces a single output. You take 3 by 3 matrix and you align your kernel across it, which will be producing a single value, right? 6 by 6 matrix with a 3 by 3 kernel produces a 4 by 4 matrix. For a 5 by 5 matrix, 3 by 3 kernel editing now, which will produce a output matrix as 3 by 3. Okay, so 5 by 5 is 25 values, which will be producing only a 9 values. How it is producing? For that only the main motivation is of the sparse interaction. Based on this only, they could move on to the convolution operation. Now this is various steps of it. I'll share with you. You please go through it. Parameter sharing. Parameter sharing is another very important properties of CNN. Parameter sharing refers to using the same parameter for more than one function in a model. As I mentioned, first 3 by 3 cells are considered. Second time when you are sliding, only one column you need, from second column you consider. So the same values are shared for the first iteration, second iteration, third iteration also. Correct? So like that it goes on, the parameters will be shared. Similarly, after the extraction also for the pooling, the parameters what is being accessed from the previous level will be shared. That is about parameter sharing. Efficiency of parameter again. This we have the explanation already. Order of k into n. We take only a particular input alone for that particular step. Okay. So order of k into n. When you are having time, just go through it. Equivariance of convolution or translation. Equivariance of convolution of translation. So this is about a function. This point only is very important. A function f of x is equivariant to a function g if the condition is f of g of x is equal to g of f of x. There it has to meet the commutative property. Commutative property. So here how the commutative property is considered? F of g of x is equal to g of f of x. Then we say that both the values are equivariant. Okay. If g is a function that translates the input, that is that shifts it, then the convolution function is equivariant to g. So as a whole, what you need to understand, when you make slight change on the input, there must be a change on the output. As simple as that. Okay. So when there is a change on the input, it should reflect on the output also. The entire thing deals about that only. So examples of equivariance with the 2D images, convolution creates a map where certain features appear in the input. Whatever the input you see, whatever the features you see in the input, sometimes in the output also will be appeared, because you are focusing on a particular position, not the entire thing. So sometimes it looks same also. If we move the object in the input, the representation will move the same amount of the output. That is nothing but when there is a change. When there is a shift on the input, there will be a shift on the output also. There will be a change on the output also. It is useful to detect edges in the first layer of a convolutional network. Normally it is for the edge. Edge. Whenever you consider any image for the border areas, edge areas, this property will be used. Absence. Suppose there is no equivariance, what will happen? If image is cropped to be centered on a face, okay, you are cropping the image, we may want different features from different parts of the face. You are cropping, okay, but at the same time you want all the features of the face. Part of the network processing, the top of the face looks for a, like something you are cropping, but still you wanted all features of the face. In this case, when there is no equivariance, you will lose some content, you will lose some features over there. That is the reason CNN gives more importance for even the equivariance. இங்க ஒரு change பண்ணா அந்த change இருக்கணும். நீ வந்து change பண்ணி இருந்த output வந்து as it is you are getting means it is not correct. That is what we are trying to say here. Yeah, I hope with this we can close. Yeah, cooling we have applied already, solved the problem. Just have a look at that. Cooling is in the CNN. So subsampling step. So normally we take the 2x2 cooling only. Cooling is of 3 types: max cooling, min cooling, and average cooling. Okay, typical layer of a CNN consists of 3 stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 1 is identification of the image. Second one, the detection is nothing but convolution. Third is the cooling. And the cooling process I will show you. Yeah. Yes. So cooling is performed for 3 various reasons. So whenever you want to rotate the image, whenever you want to translate the image, whenever you want to scale the image, okay, image should not be changed, only the size alone should be changed, okay, and you want to rotate and see, but there should not be any loss in the image. In these cases and all we go with the cooling, okay. So cooling will be of 3 types: max, min, and average. What do we do with the max cooling? Those who attended can answer. Max cooling, I am looking for that page. Okay, fine, no problem. So max cooling is, you take the convolved feature, cooling size will be 2x2 matrix, okay. So you align the cool matrix on the convolved feature matrix. So on the 4x4 align iron, okay. Out of those 4 cells of the convolved feature map, which is the maximum value will be considered as output. Similarly, all the 4 will be mapped and then taken the output value. If it is the average value, all the 4 will be added, divided by 4 will be the average pool. Similarly, min pool means only the minimum value will be taken, so that the size of the matrix will be reduced now, because out of 4 you get only 1 and we are not overlapping 2. They are not overlapping. So when you take 4x4 matrix, the output will be only 2x2 matrix. Correct? Output will be 2x2. So the size of the matrix is reduced, so that we can say that complexity of the computation is also reduced. That is how cooling is done. I think with that we can close. Rest of the topics we'll see in the next class.